right, man. So I know a lot of people are saying the Pistons are winning. They don't need to make a trade, but really the time is now for them to make a trade. And I'm going to address, I had a comment on TikTok. I couldn't find it, but I seen it flash up there about Jalen Duren in $185 million contract. And, like I said, most people don't know basketball. In this era, they think if you don't score, you're not valuable. And LeBron is very indicative of that not to be true. As long as with Nikola Jokic, but I answered that on the back half. But honestly, I had to crack my neck. Yeah, the perfect time to make trade now. I mean, you got Tobias Harris expiring contract. You seem to got two bright spots that can lead your team. Duren, K. Cunningham, and really, you got a really lot of good supporting cast from Duncan Robinson, Javonte Green, Karis LeVert. I think he'll warm up, get better. Dennis Jenkins. So you got really good guys on that aspect as far as coming off that bench that can rotate in. And then, in the lineup, you still got guys that's up in the air. Jaden Ivey, Ron Hollins, and then you got a main staple apiece that can sweeten the pot for any deal and make any deal damn near go through you that you want damn near. And Asar Thompson. So they're in a good place. And then when you got a contract that's attractive like Tobias Harris, another attractive contract is Jaden Ivey's. And you got young players like Ron Hollins, Asar Thompson, and you got all your picks going forward. I think it's a great time. And right now, I mean, yeah, you can go through the process of seeing, what you can do in another series versus the Knicks, see if you can make a run and do what OKC did and just grow within. But in my opinion, when you got the market is saying, you got players that can help you, and your roster saying you got the tools to make a deal work and even be better and not take a huge loss in the trade and worry about, stumbling backwards, and you just gonna move forward, you got to. Because every year you're not gonna see a year where you can get a McCollum, you can get a Trey Murphy, you can get a Zach LaVine, you can get a DeMar DeRozan, you can get a Domantas Sabonis. You know what I'm saying? You can get a LaMelo Ball, you can get a Trey Young, you can get a John Morant. You got a number of guys that, you really can have your eye on out here. And I'm just naming a few that's off the top. Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford. You know what I'm saying? And those are just the guys that I know. Also, Kyle Kuzma, Bobby Portis, Giannis Antetokounmpo. You know what I'm saying? You look at Indiana, they may be willing to do some things with some of the people they got. Pascal Siakam, I'm just throwing names out there, right? Paul George, Joel Embiid, Michael Porter Jr. So, the market is very hot. Lori Marketing. The market is hot. Nikola Vujovic. The market is so hot right now that it makes a lot of sense, to make that deal and get over the hump. As is, I don't think you're gonna be able to get over the hump. And I get it, people saying, well, you winning a bunch of games. It doesn't necessarily work that way. You're going against Bronson, Cat, OG, Miles Bridges and them, and you can say, well, last year almost got them. We can just self-improve. But you got that opportunity to add an AD, add a Lauri Marketing, or add a Trey Murphy, or add a McCollum, or add a Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Malik Monk, an extra oomph. What I'm saying? That's all they was missing last year was experience and an extra oomph. So I feel like when you have those opportunities to add those guys to your roster, I believe that you add those guys to your roster. I believe you add those guys to the roster to be quite frank. So when you got a time to upgrade and the window is very fruitful for you to upgrade the roster and you're close to, doing it, do it. You can do something major for the low. You can do something major for market value, or some of these guys you have to pay over market value for. But we do know they're missing that lead scorer. Cade is the lead scorer. I don't think that's what he wants to be. I don't think he want to be scoring 30, 35 a night. I don't think that's what he want to do. I think, they need a guy that's going to come in and be the numero gunner scorer. That's just what it is. And I think Cade and him will just go back and forth. But I think Cade just want to be a floor general and just boom, boom, boom. That's what he wants to do. If you need to drop 50, I'll drop 50, but it shouldn't be I have to do it every night. That's why you're going to you looking out there for that guy that's really gonna get it. That really can be that relief valve out of him. And right now, Hollins ain't really ready to step up. Shout out to him being fifth in the league in steals. Asar Thompson, I don't think is ready to step up and do that. And Jaden Ivey, we just ain't seen enough of him to be able to step up and do that just about yet. So, if I'm being honest with you, I like some of these deals out here. I know I'm a huge, fan of Malik Monk. I'm a huge fan of Zach LaVine. I understand why they would trade for Giannis. I understand why they would trade for AD. I understand why they would trade for Kyrie. Wouldn't be mad at the PJ Washington deal, Trey Murphy deal, CJ McCollum deal. Wouldn't be mad at any of those deals. That's just my stance on it, right? Moving off of that, they talk about Duren. Oh, I'm not giving $185 million. Somebody's on TikTok for a guy to take 10 shots. It's not about scoring. I don't know why y'all think scoring is the end all be all. I remember they made a big deal about Nikola Jokic being the one of the years he won MVP, the first MVP not to be able to score this amount of points. It's not the scoring title. You know what I'm saying? It's not T-Mac and Kobe, going for, or Carmelo going for the scoring title. It's the most valuable. How valuable is he to your team? And when Jalen Duren's in there, ever since around January, February last year, he's been very vital to the turnaround. His ability to block shots, his ability to command the paint, his ability to rebound, change shots. And he only, 22, 23 years old. That's it. That's it. He's starting to show some offensive promise, posting up, showing he's looking like, honestly, he's looking like a young Patrick Ewing out there. But a lot of y'all young people just think, it's about scoring. Ask Michael Jordan. He used to score a bunch of fucking points and didn't win a championship. Most people, they claim they know basketball, but they really don't. He led the league in scoring, was the MVP of the league. He was the defensive player of the league. He was the All-Star Game MVP, slam dunk champion, all NBA first team, all defensive NBA team, first team. He did all that in 1 year and didn't win a fucking championship. You know what I'm saying? When you understand it's something more to being a champion and being a successful basketball player than scoring a shitload of points. It's more than that. Jason Kidd, I believe, at least two of them years in Jersey where they was running and gunning, he averaged less than 17 points a game. In my opinion, he should have been MVP. I didn't have a problem with Steve Nash getting MVP, with, Phoenix. I get it. Shaq should have got it in Miami. Kobe should have got it. But what he was doing, he got a lot of them young dudes paid, bro. Tim Thomas got paid after dealing with him. Joe Johnson got paid after dealing with him. And Mark Stoudemire, he got paid dealing with, Sean Marion, he made guys better. That's where your value is. And Jalen Duren, you go back to Ben Wallace, say Ben Wallace didn't deserve this, that. Without Ben Wallace, they don't win championships. So y'all young dudes have to understand, man, scoring ain't the end all be all, man. LeBron, it wasn't about him scoring many points. He's played a long time. LeBron played the game the right way. I give him that. He played the game by the textbook, making guys better, making the right play. Cade remind me of the same way. It ain't about the scoring. It ain't about the scoring. It's how you affect all aspects of the game. During rebounding, he blocking, he intimidating, he changing shots, he running the floor, he hustling. You know what I'm saying? He fortifies them in the middle of that team. Now he's starting to score. So he ain't even started to scratch. He starting to scratch the potential of his scoring ability. And he basically waking up, falling out of bed, getting 20 and 10. So guess what? When he start really getting into that bag for real, he's an easy 25-15, 25-12 guy. You can't put a value on that. You can't show me a big fella that's more athletic than him. And think about Joe Dumars. A lot of people, treated him like the music group guy. They called him crazy. If you don't remember that song, they called him crazy. Why did they call him crazy? Because he moved up and he traded a pick that could be the number one pick next year for Dairy Queen. He believed in Dairy Queen that much, and look what Dairy Queen doing. He knew what the fuck he was doing. You know, a big fella that affects the game in so many different ways. Passing, Duren ain't a bad passer either. I'm giving that passing, rebounding. You know what I'm saying? You know, he makes Derek Queen, makes everybody better. So I gotta get out the mindset that points, you know, that mean you can score. I mean, Cam Thomas could score 25 every night, and he won't have the impact of a Ben Wallace when he was playing. He won't have the impact. He won't have the impact of anybody. So a lot of people gotta realize, like, y'all be thinking like score, and they gonna get you nowhere. Jay McDaniels was a phenomenal scorer coming into the NBA. That what the fuck that get him? He had to change his whole game to find a role in the NBA with the Minnesota Timberwolves. So, you know, but hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist, hit the link tree. You can find me everywhere from X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, the whole nine. Peace.